Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Professor Alf Nicholson. I'm the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Head of the Medical School. I want to warmly welcome you all to this virtual ceremony for the 2021 White Coat Ceremony. It's a shame that we're not on campus, but one of the advantages of a virtual ceremony is that you can, with your families all across the world, see and participate in this ceremony. It's a very significant stage post in your medical careers. I'd like to thank May Marr and all her team, our speakers for their excellent contributions, and to you for attending this special day. The key qualities that you will need as a future doctor are compassion, empathy, understanding of patient needs, and professionalism. And you're going to see these qualities displayed by your senior academics throughout the next number of years. And I want you to think about those qualities, develop them, and to display them in your future medical careers. It's a very exciting day. I remember very well my first day on the wards. I remember very well when I first put on a white coat, and I felt I had become a real doctor. And I think you're going to have that feeling as well. So I wish you well. I congratulate you on your medical career to date and how far you've come. And I know you're going to enjoy the next number of years and really feel like you've become a doctor at last. So enjoy the rest of the day, and many congratulations on this special day.
Professor Cathal Kelly, Professor Samir Atum, Professor Alf and fellow academics and staff, and most importantly, you, the students of the White Coat class. Immense congratulations to each and every one of you, and to those family members and loved ones who have been beside you on your journey. Your parents, your grandparents, your brothers and sisters, even the annoying ones. This is truly a proud day for all involved. And a day of pride for me too, to be asked to oversee you gain your rite of passage, to continue on a voyage that started probably when you were but a twinkle in your parents' eyes. Today, with one move, the donning of a very visible white coat, you gain a whole new respect, hopefully earned and justified, but never taken for granted. And your patients' expectations rise when they see that white coat. And also, somewhat unexpectedly, you become an immediate risk to the health of society by inducing the white coat syndrome with its associated, albeit transient, rise in blood pressure, adrenaline surge, and heart fluctuations. You are now, in fact, officially a health risk. Now, you must rise to your patients' expectations, and you must calm the potential effects of the white coat syndrome with compassion, understanding, and correctly placed confidence by being a trusted confidant in providing a caring, listening ear. You're not playing medical students anymore. You're playing doctors. And what do I want for you? I hope that on at least 5 out of 7 days a week, you wake up saying, goody goody, another working day. For being a doctor, helping your fellow human being should be, of course, serious, but very fulfilling, and frankly, fun. Enjoy the challenge of getting a diagnosis, the basis of all medicine. And tempting as it is increasingly becoming, don't starting to solve every problem by asking for imaging techniques to be employed. Relish taking a history, never miss an opportunity to examine thoroughly and appropriately, and then call for investigations to prove that you're right. The generation before me saw an end to tuberculosis and the tragically massive maternal and infant death numbers, at least in resourced countries. My generation is seeing the end of cancer and AIDS diagnosis being seen as an automatic death sentence. And what's for your generation? Well, when COVID is sorted, we're assured by our colleagues in the under-resourced world that they have dozens of diseases we haven't heard of yet. But on the other hand, thanks to the cracking of the genetic code, medical knowledge is doubling every 70 days. So large challenges lie ahead, yes, but huge opportunities too. I've only been employed here at RCSI in the Gulf since March, but I like what I see. I'm greatly impressed by your collective dedication, your application, and as for your CVs, stunning. A colleague, Professor Tom Walsh, and I were discussing how impressive they were, and were considering what ours would have looked like at your stage. Professor Tom suggested mine would have only simply said, born. I concurred. We also noted how many of you are aimed to achieve honours. Very commendable. In our day, honours were only given out once every decade. So our aim was to pass, to reach 50. If we got 57, we thought to ourselves, maybe we've overstretched ourselves a bit. But seriously, your CVs represent great efforts by you, reflecting great stimulation by your teachers at school and here at RCSI, your tutors, lecturers, your parents. They're a joy to read and represent a lot of work and effort. And I particularly like to see your varied hobbies and pastimes highlighted and coming through. This world needs more and more rounded souls who can energize their fellow citizens and be catalysts for widespread positive human development. Now, I feel it's very much my task to pass on a few of my ideas as to how to have an enriched and effective medical life. So here goes. I'll start with fatherly advice. First of all, humans mostly work at their best when in a strong, supportive, personal relationship. So I'm not going to say choose wisely, because that implies it's all up to you to choose. First, make yourself someone you would wish to be chosen. And that's a very different take on the whole thing. You're not looking for a possession, you're looking for a life's partner. And don't rush the process. It will happen when it's meant to. Secondly, in a few years' time, and after another series of exams where you'll get marks for being right or wrong, you will qualify, and then find that much of our knowledge is not black or white, but is a slight tinge of grey. We don't know it all, never will. So develop your curious side. Research is the key. Most of you come from this part of the world, of which I know you are justly proud, and quite correctly. Indeed, this whole region is famed for how its own scholars and doctors translated medical texts from all over the known world, including those of the Greeks, Romans, Persians, and Indians. And not only gathered this knowledge and translated it into Arabic and later into Latin, but also founded the first hospitals, introduced physician training, and wrote encyclopedias of medical knowledge. I do so hope that you, at least mentally, follow your forefathers and foremothers' footsteps. Make teaching, passing on your skills and solutions, a part of your personality. Take every opportunity to educate and energize those around you. Keep an inquiring mind. Read widely. Share research ideas and data. Collaborate with others for the common good. And yes, it's never too late to pivot from your own personal direction. A job doesn't have to be for life. Don't be reticent to change that direction at any time. Keep yourself fresh. So finally, now you've got the white coat, you look the part. You're halfway there. Now you've got to act the part. You've got to be an honest, compassionate, caring doctor. And how do you do that? It's quite simple, really. Just be an honest, compassionate, caring doctor. And you know what? The white coat will become invisible. Good luck.
Bismillah and Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, my name is Fatih. I'm a final year medical student here at RCSI Bahrain, and on the momentous occasion of your white coat ceremony, I would like to begin with just a single word. Congratulations. You have made it past many hurdles, both academic and otherwise, numerous of which have been totally unique to each of you, and you should be proud of making it this far. Even more impressively, your accomplishments come in a particularly praiseworthy time, in the midst of an international public health crisis that has brought the world to a standstill. Yet you have persevered, and now it comes time to take the next step up the ladder into clinical practice. As you press on to your clinical years and begin to undertake teaching on the wards and with real patients, it is incredibly important to recognize that you will not simply be walking into a patient's room with a bed, a person, and a number of clinical findings, but rather you will be walking right into these patients' lives, and your interactions will hold weight for them, possibly forever. And the reverse may well also be true, as there will be many patients you never forget as well, I still fondly recall the first patient I personally ever saw in the emergency room, around when I was in your shoes, a lovely old lady who had a bad cough. My colleague and I put on gloves, an apron, and a mask, even though such things were not quite as fashionable back then, and we walked in with as much faux confidence as we could muster, perhaps not hiding our nerves quite as well as we thought. She agreed to see us, and although she had a little trouble speaking, the first thing she said was, "Sit down, be comfortable." We had walked in with a scientific curiosity and excitement to examine a patient with such an interesting diagnosis as pneumonia due to metapneumovirus with a bacterial superinfection. Very fancy, I know. And when I put my stethoscope to her back, I heard absolutely nothing. She was still breathing, of course, but it would take much practice before I even began to tune into discordant breath sounds in real practice. To really learn, you need to be patient too. But that first encounter has since been a fervent reminder that patients are much, much more than their findings or diagnoses and deserve the utmost kindness, empathy, and courtesy at all times. But you should be confident. You might be surprised that you know more than you think you do. And if not, then that's fine too, because you have no better time to learn and ask questions than when you're still a student. Everyone in the hospitals and health centers will be able to teach you something. The doctors, of course, but also the nurses, technicians, allied healthcare professionals, and most of all, the patients. Use your time wisely and keep sight of the human elements of clinical practice, and solidify the basics of history taking, examination, and good infection control practices now, so that they can carry you through what will be a long and fulfilling career ahead. And last, but certainly not least, be kind to yourself. Remember that you are human too, and take care of yourself, as you need to be healthy first, before you can help others do the same. If your whole life was to be compressed to the breadth of a single day, then now the sun has started to rise, and the path ahead of you is illuminated and yours to tread upon. So walk tall, my friends. You've earned it, and I wish you all the best of luck and success in your bright futures.
It's a great honor for me as Director of Year 2 to lead the White Coat Declaration and to celebrate this special occasion with you as you begin your healthcare career. The RCSI Declaration is based on the Graduates Declaration and is a powerful statement and a commitment of the highest standards of professionalism and ethical practice as you begin your clinical training. As you recite the declaration, the words will appear on your screen. I encourage you to stand and recite the declaration together with pride. Listen to it and absorb each word, and bear in mind that the next time you say these words will be at your own graduation ceremony. I would like now to invite all students to stand and recite together with me the following declaration. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity.
I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity.
The health of my patient will be my first concern.
The health of my patient will be my first concern.
I will maintain the utmost respect for human life.
I will maintain the utmost respect for human life.
I will respect the confidential information that's entrusted in me, even after the patient has died.
I will respect the confidential information that is entrusted in me, even after the patient has died.
I will not permit considerations of age, disease or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender and nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient.
I will not permit considerations of age, disease, or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient.
I will abide by the code of conduct of my profession, and I will promote high standards of practice, lifelong education and research in the interest of human health.
I will abide by the code of conduct of my profession, and I will promote high standards of practice, lifelong education and research in the interest of human health.
I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
Good afternoon. Welcome to your white coat ceremony. My name is Martin Corbally. I'm a pediatric surgeon by training, but I'm also professor and head of surgery here at RCSI Bahrain. It is a privilege and an honor to address you today. I know that this is a very exciting day for you, for your parents, families, and sponsors. It is the first day of your clinical career. It is a day that marks your ability to see patients, examine patients, and continue to develop your clinical skills under the supervision of doctors in our partner hospitals. I think that medicine is a very challenging career, but it is a very interesting and rewarding career. I hope that you will develop resilience, but above all, I hope that you always respect your patients. I hope that you act professionally at all times, and I hope that you understand too that the patient is the most significant repository of information that you can ever find, much better than books or online tutorials. It remains for me to say that you have an amazing opportunity to increase your clinical skills, to improve your clinical skills, and to graduate as an ambassador of RCSI Bahrain. I wish you every success in your future career.
Good morning, my name is John Flood. I'm the Professor and Head of the Department of Medicine at RCSI Bahrain. I'm also a consultant endocrinologist at King Hamad University Hospital with a special interest in reproductive endocrinology and endocrine hypertension. I'm also a practicing historian. First, let me congratulate you on getting over the hurdle of the basic science part of your medical degree. I'm sure you're all now very eager to progress onto the clinical part of your training, but remember, the basic sciences are also a very important part of your education as they form the scientific basis of clinical practice. The object of education is to teach us to love what is beautiful. In particular, the wise need education to refine their reasoning and to gain knowledge of the world around them. These seminal words were written many centuries ago by Plato in his text, The Republic, in 380 BC. And they still apply to all students today. Your education here in our medical school in Bahrain is not just to prepare you to be the doctors of the future, but to allow you to develop into responsible and thoughtful human beings. Other students in different universities and in different faculties learn different skills. Art students learn to write good prose and analyse text. Engineering students learn how to build. And philosophy students to contemplate the meaning of life and how to see the natural world. But doctors have a greater demand put upon them, as do medical students. They are expected not only to be scientifically accomplished, but to be healers and carers of the sick and dying. They also bring new life into the world and comfort those that are leaving it. Consequently, your university and medical education is organised to give you the skills to perform these duties in a sympathetic and professional manner. The demands and expectations from society upon doctors and our particular profession are great. We are expected to be beyond reproach, to be honest, truthful, empathic, stoic, and above all else, kind in our dealings with patients. Over the next few years, you will see many great things in clinical medicine when you wander through the corridors of medical institutions like the King Hamad University Hospital in Bahrain and eminent institutions abroad like Johns Hopkins in Baltimore in the US, Le Charité in Berlin, the most eminent hospital in Germany, the Salpêtrière in Paris, eminent for its neurology, and maybe even the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. You will see many great things like aortic valve replacements, coronary angiograms with stenting, and complex microsurgery like peripheral nerve repair. These procedures are at the forefront of 21st century medical practice. Enjoy these experiences, but also remember there is a world outside medicine, the world of books, art, music, theatre, cuisine that you should embrace in all lands, both East and West. Also, be proud of your profession and do good deeds every day. Remember the greatest of human virtues are kindness and love, and above all, integrity. They should be practiced by you on a daily basis, and you should never ever become a pawn of political or despotic institutions. You should practice your profession with an independent and clear mind and become a pillar of society. Enjoy being in theatre and doing clinical medicine. Enjoy being on the wards, in outpatients, on the children's wards with senior staff like myself, Professor Martin Corbell in surgery and Professor Alf Nicholson in paediatrics. I'm going to finish my talk today by quoting Seneca, who wrote in 65 BC in his letter to Lucilius, "Non scolae sed vitae." We do not learn for school, but for life. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and congratulations for making it this far. Today marks an important point in your journey through medical school. It's the day that you move on to year 2. This is the year that you move on from simple lecture halls to the hospital wards. You will start seeing real patients now, and this will change the whole orientation of your studying, why you're doing it, and for what. You will start seeing real patients, and for once, you'll stop asking yourself, what kind of questions do I need to memorize for the sake of an exam? And you'll start asking yourself, how much knowledge do I want to know in order to answer a patient's question? That's the real exam. The white coat ceremony is actually just a symbol. It doesn't matter what color of coat you're wearing, but what really matters is how much knowledge, how much humanity the person wearing it carries. I think the message I want to send to you today, and it's what I realized through medical school and after I graduated, it's that there is so much that we do not know as doctors. The uncertainty in our field is huge and it's surprising. But for patients, they don't know that. They still look up to you and they want answers from you and they have all their trust in you. And I think there was no year like the year 2020 that showed us how important what we do is. It showed us how each and every member, how each and every doctor, how each and every medical student is actually important in making the picture complete. The world needs you. This is the day you join the real world. So good luck and congratulations again.
Good afternoon, future doctors. Congratulations on this great achievement. With your sparkling new white coats, you are finally ready to start your clinical years. Although RCSI has changed a lot this past year, you'll be pleased to hear that the hospitals are mostly the same. There's no one-way systems there. But there are a couple of things you need to be prepared for. Be prepared to reach the hospital at 7 a.m. every day. Be prepared sometimes to wait around in the hallways for your doctor to arrive. Always keep something with you that you can study or read during these downtimes. Be prepared to see patients when they're vulnerable. A sweet and friendly 80-year-old grandfather who gave you a great history the other day with a smile, today is being told with his family that he has colorectal cancer. Be prepared to see some incredible things. A premature baby weighing just 1 kilogram being ventilated at a rate of 150 breaths per minute. Surgeons removing part of the skull of a patient and placing it in his abdomen to keep it vascularized. And just listening to the clicking sounds of a patient's mechanical heart valves. Be prepared to play with the children in the ward. Just rolling a toy car back and forth, making their time in the wards a little bit more enjoyable. Exam periods can be a little bit stressful in the next few years for you, but be prepared to spend time in the library with your friends, making schedules and then realizing you have to change them again, spending hours laughing at the absurdity of having to read a whole book in just 1 week. practicing physical exams on each other, and all the Rusi and shawarma breaks. Those were honestly my most memorable years at RCSI. So cherish these moments during the next couple of years. The friends you make here are lifelong, no matter where in the world you all end up staying. Once again, congratulations. You have some incredible years ahead of you. Sometimes they might be a little bit stressful, but trust me, you will always have time to breathe and appreciate how far you've come. I look forward to welcoming you all in the hospital.